Aloha, everyone. Welcome. We've got a really fun class plan that is going to help us explore our whole bodies, but starting from the feet up. We're really going to allow the feet to guide our way in this journey. So let's take a moment to just start with observing our breath. Make sure you can sit comfortably. That can be cross-legged or kneeling. We're not going to be here too long. And I like to do this part in silence, so I'll let you know when to start the music. When you've stopped your movements, imagine just like a settling in the body. Everything calming and grounding. Maybe slowing down for the first time today. And then just observe the natural flow of the breath. You don't have to change it or judge it. It's okay if it's feeling a little shallow. Just notice what you're working with. And sometimes by virtue of just noticing, it comes into better balance. And as you observe the natural breath flow, notice too the space between the breaths. After each inhale, after each exhale. If you feel compelled, allow the breath to slow down without forcing it deeper or really changing it. Letting it still be natural. Just a little slower so you can feel it more. And then continuing to observe your perfect breath. We'll begin our class with waking up our feet. So let's make sure we're all on the same page. Can bring the right leg in front and just bring your hands to your feet. I hope they're clean. I'm sorry I didn't warn you. If you are following along with the music, please hit play on the first song. And imagine there's like a million buttons on your foot, and you need to gently press all of them to be able to feel all the information that your foot wants to give you. And here's the fun, interesting part. The pushing the buttons isn't the magic. The magic comes when you can actually feel your fingers pushing into your foot, right? So start to squeeze the toes a little bit and really try to imagine you're like planted all down in your toes and you're feeling the hands squeeze. You're noticing from the inside out. And then walk the hands to the ball of the foot, starting to squeeze and press. You can try very softly at first, almost just like feeling the skin, right? That very outer layer. And then you can play with pushing a little more. Walk your way up to the arch of the foot, this magical, strong part of the foot that supports you all day long and connects up into the inner leg line and the core. So every step you have the support of your core thanks to the arch of your foot. Make your way back to the heel. Maybe notice how the skin changes a little bit. It's almost more of a cushion back there. And then squeeze around the heel bone, the back of the ankle, the Achilles tendon. Up into the calf and the shin. And then just gently lift the leg, if that's comfortable for the hip, and make a few gentle circles. It can be really small, just allowing the foot to roll around in space. Hi Octavia, welcome. We just massaged our right foot, and now we're going to switch to our left, so feel free to just do a quicker one on both right and left to catch up. And so we'll do the same thing on the left foot, and you know the pathway now, so you're welcome to just totally ignore me and dive into your sensations. And remember, it's not so much about the squeezing of the foot, it's about feeling as the pressure comes and goes. The fascia in the foot has more sensory receptors than the eyeballs. Okay, so you can actually get more information from your foot than looking around. That's crazy, right? And that's what we're going to do in our yoga class today. We are going to look around with our feet, and we're going to get a lot of new information for the body. Make your way to the middle of the foot if you're not there yet. And I actually invite you throughout class, if it doesn't throw off your balance, to play with closing the eyes at any time. You know, play with this idea of like, okay, our sensory input is coming in through our feet. All of the information we need is in our feet. Make your way to the heel, the ankle bone, the calf. And then if you liked those circles, whenever you're done, but you don't have to rush there, there's no rushing in yoga. You can circle the foot a few times. And then place the foot down and just pause. And just notice if you feel anything awake in the feet now. There's like signals starting to come up into the legs, into the knees, into the thighs. Take a quarter turn to the left, extend the legs, and slowly recline. And if you did it right, when you reach your right arm out, it should be reaching towards your computer or TV screen. And then you can place the hands down and just come back to that breath awareness. Just observing. Just observing the breath rising and falling in the body. And ever so gently draw a big circle with the arms as if you were making a snow angel. And then bend the elbows, bring the fingertips behind the head, and let the hands just rest there. Bend the right knee and slowly drag the right heel towards the glute. And then place the sole of the foot down, making contact between foot and earth. Gently control the descent of your knee off to the side So like a half butterfly, but just don't let it flop out. Control its way down. And then lift the right knee and crunch over to the right, crossing left elbow to knee. And we'll repeat that again. I just heard that Hagino from Japan signed in. Aloha, Hagino. We're doing lots of fun dance movements, so I hope you like this class. And so repeat by gently dragging the heel in. Place the sole of the right foot down for a moment, and then slowly lower the right knee over to the right. And then lift the right knee, left elbow to knee, half bicycle, and then move back to the beginning. So the leg extends, the leg slowly bends, pointing knee to ceiling, and then slowly lower the knee to point to the right. Can pause in fallen tree for a moment, and then take your half bicycle. And do that a couple more times on your own, and it really doesn't matter if you do the perfect sequence. What matters is you feel each movement that the body decides to take. Imagine your body as one thing rather than a collection of parts, just one beautiful force of energy flowing into these different shapes as a whole. The next time you take your half bicycle, pause there and then release just the body down, but keep the knee lifted. Very gently start to drop the right knee over to the left so it crosses the body away from me, and slowly roll on to your left side. And then let the right knee start to slide off to the right so you end up on your belly face down. Just pause for a moment and check in with the right hip. If that's uncomfortable, you can always extend the right leg. If it is comfortable for the right hip, try tucking the right big toe under and just feel the sensation of the right toe pressing into the mat. We're going to be using that a whole lot during class today. Slowly bring the elbows in so the arms are in Sphinx pose, and push down into the elbows just to tuck the body up, hollowing the body out, but keep the back knee lifted. And then release the body down, or just the belly really. And do that a couple times just to wake up the shoulders and the core before we push up out of this. And so imagine everything sinking away from the shoulders and then lifting and puffing up back into the shoulders. The next time you lift and puff up, keep everything strong at the core. Gently draw the hands in, coming a little higher up, and then push down into the hands. Slide the right knee underneath you so we have like a supported plank position. Okay, this might be something new. Be patient. It's a brain game. Okay, so if it's hard, it's meant to be hard, and just be patient. We're going to be doing a prep pose for our lizard animal crawl. And so the way we do this is by bringing the left knee towards the right wrist at the same time that the right hand steps forward. So reverse and try that a couple times. Right hand steps forward, left knee steps forward. Yeah, great. And then let's go the other way. So now right knee slides forward and left hand steps forward. If your floor is comfortable enough on your knees, take a few of these crawls. And then whenever you need to go backwards, that's extra good for your brain. So make your way forwards and back a couple of times, just getting used to this idea of opposite hand and knee moving. And if you need to back up onto your mat, take a few steps back and we'll meet with our right knee forward. Extend the left leg out and walk over an inch onto your mat. So you've got some cushioning for that right knee and the hands. And let's bring our awareness to our left big toe. And just start to point into the toe, rolling and circling the left heel. So just make some circles with the left heel. And you might notice that the rest of the body follows that, but you don't have to do anything, right? Just let this all be about the heel circling, and just notice the sensation in the big toe, the arch of the foot, maybe even the top of the foot as the ankle presses forward. The next time the heel presses back, pause there and slowly start to walk the hands over to the left. Let the left knee turn out. Let the left toes turn out, setting up for our modified Parigasana that we did last week. So the toes are turned out, the knee is bent. Before we come up, let's just take a little bit of time to roll around in the hips. Anything is fair game here, but as you circle the hips, notice the left knee, and you might feel compelled to walk the foot over to the left or forward a little, just making sure that the pelvis and the knee feel really supported. So give yourself that permission to explore. And then instead of emphasizing the hips, let the movement start to come from the left foot. So start to bring the weight into the outside of the left foot, then the ball of the left foot, then the inside of the foot. And as you circle the weight on the foot, just notice how the knee moves and the hip moves, and just let those things move naturally as long as there's no pain and it feels safe and comfortable. And then find a place where the pelvis feels really supported by the right and left legs. Slowly shift the weight back into the hips. Tuck the back toes of the right foot if they're not already. And gently start to reach the arms over to the left and then up. And for this first round, let's bring our hands to hips so we just have less to think about. And let the right knee drop in a little. And that's not something we actually want to do, but I want you guys to notice something. So when the outside of our hip isn't doing work, a lot of times this happens, right? Our knee drops in. So start to bring your hand to the back of the hip so you can feel this happening. Start to bring the knee out. And then notice the left foot. Sometimes then all the weight comes onto the outside of the left foot, and that whole foot's not doing the work. So we're going to find a balance between the right foot and the left foot and the left glute. So keep your hand where it is. Anchor the ball of the right foot down. The ball of the left foot down, and then the pad of the left big toe down. Okay, so keep that there. Let the knee knock in. Place your hand on your glute. And now as you slowly start to bring the knee over the ankle, just notice if you feel any sensations in the back of the hip. And it's okay if you don't. You're not doing anything wrong. But sometimes it's fun. Sometimes you actually feel those muscles turning on. So do that a couple of times. Just playing with letting the knee come in as long as there's no pain. And then actually rooting the ball of the right foot down, the big toe down, as you open the knee off. And imagine just this web of support behind the hip and underneath the sit bone, enlivening to open the leg off to the side. So keep all of that engaged, and then take a few of those circles that we did before. But here's the trick. As you circle, you might notice like the ball of the big toe, or the ball mound of the big of the big foot, the ball mound of your left foot, you might notice that it wants to come off the ground. Explore this movement only as much as the foot allows, as it stays anchored. We're going to be playing with a lot of balance today, and the inside, the base of the big toe and the big toe itself are going to be our anchor. So start noticing that sense of really being aware of the foot as the rest of the body moves. Go the other direction. Yeah, and I love seeing some of you creatively starting to move your own way. Please, think of this as like a test. You're like, okay, how can I uproot the big toe, right? You're testing your body, and this is going to turn on more muscle. So let it happen And if you're ever not sure what to do, those beautiful sweeping circles are perfect. But if you feel inspired, go with it. Everything is on limits. Can you say that, on limits? I only hear about things being off limits. Okay. So we'll all meet at center and pause for a moment. And then turn to face your left foot, right? We were open for Parigasana, and now we're letting the hips close. So the right foot's going to swing out a little bit. Hug the inner thighs together. Feel free to walk the left foot over a little. You're going to be pointed away from me unless you weren't following directions, and that's okay too. We're rebels, right? And so let your stance be really short. You guys look really good. But when we come back to this each time, give yourself permission to be in this like proposal stance rather than like a big lunge, right? And gently sweep the arms up and bring your awareness into the back big toe, pushing down into the earth, the front base of the big toe, stabilizing you, and just start to reach up. With the right side of the body, let the whole right side of the body lengthen. And if it's comfortable, the left arm can drop. I know you can't see my arm here. The left arm can drop and reach slightly back towards the right thigh. But it's really more about reaching up with the right arm and just letting the left arm sort of hang and open without collapsing. And then reach up with both arms and just take a couple of those side bends to open the right side of the body. And be aware of the left leg, just like you were in Parigasana, right? That sense of the base of the big toe and the big toe anchoring and the outside of the left hip supporting you so the knee doesn't come too far in or out. And then reach up with both hands, release the hands down. Transition from last week, hug the knees together. Bring the right hip down and left hand up, rolling over the hips so you're facing the other way. Beautiful. Scooch back onto your mat and slowly come down. And just pause and get out of the way for a moment, letting all of that information settle. Notice any sensations through the right or left side of the body. We did a lot of poses on each side, right? So you might be feeling stuff on both sides. And now we'll balance that out. So snow angel, the arms, bend the elbows, bring fingertips behind the back of the head, and then slowly glide the left heel in. Bring the sole of the left foot down and feel the sole of the foot, the skin, the bottom of the foot, just touch the earth. And then slowly allow the left knee to open off to the left. And then lift left knee and crunch towards it with the right elbow. Half bicycle. And we start again. So recline the upper body, extend the left leg out. And then drag left heel in. Sole of foot down. Enjoy that moment when the sole of the foot makes contact. And then let the left knee open. And then slow, graceful half bicycle. And now repeat at your own pace, trying to smooth out each of the movements. So there's no beginning, there's no end. It's just a continuous flow. Waking up, awareness in the foot, in the leg, in the hip, in the core, even in the shoulders, in the arms. The next time you crunch up, keep the leg lifted, recline the body down, and slowly allow the left leg to cross over to the right side. Let it pull the hips, then the left side of the body, and slowly come all the way on to the right side. And then let the left knee slide over to the left. So you're making your way onto your belly. The left knee is still bent like you're in tree pose. Tuck the left toes under. And then walk the elbows underneath you for Sphinx arms. Push down into the elbows. puff up through the back of the heart, and just notice any sense of condensing at your center, like things anchoring and feeling strong, and then release back down as long as that doesn't cause compression in the low back. And just take a couple of those like baby crunches to just support yourself with your arms and your shoulders. Integrate that strength into your core. And the next time the belly lifts away from the mat, slowly plant one hand, then the other, and slide the left knee underneath you. Inch over to the left, and we'll take our lizard crawls going the other direction. So now left hand and right knee, and then right hand and left knee. And we're keeping everything down for now. So the hand, the foot, the knee, everything's down, just like a baby crawling. We'll make it more interesting on the next round. So just take a few, and if you ever get confused, slow it down, right? Or even just do one at a time. You should know you're doing it right if on one side the knee and the hand meet, right? Because the knee slides forward, the hand stays planted, and then they end up touching. Let's all make our way backward, and we'll meet with the left knee in front. Plant the hands underneath you like plank pose. Tuck the right toes, extend through the back of the right heel, and just draw some little circles with the right heel this time. And allow the right big toe to participate. So as the heel circles, notice this wanting in the right toe to press into the mat and release so that you can get more fluid movements through the back of the leg, all the way up into the right hip and the low back. Maybe you feel those connections working together. Go the opposite direction. And then pause. Walk the hands over to the right. Let the right toes spin out. Let the right knee bend. And take a moment to play with circling the hips here. And as you circle the hips, give yourself permission to move the right foot around, right? Till you feel really supported and you actually feel a desire to explore because there's stability, the muscles are turning on. And then bring a little more weight over the left knee so the pelvis is supported, and slowly start to sweep the arms over to the right and then up. And then just for this first round on the right side, bring hands to hips. We'll play with waking up the right glute a little bit more. So let the right knee drop in as long as there's no pain, and then start to open the right knee deliberately out. So it stacks over the ankle or even beyond. And then as you do that, intentionally start to anchor through the base of the big toe without lifting the big toe. That's the tricky part. So keep the big toe anchored. And then I notice this sort of like spiraling effect as my big toe roots and I externally rotate my leg. I really feel this opening all the way up into the thigh and the outer hip. And so play with that for a moment. And then when you feel ready to test it, you'll start with circles. They can be really small. Right? This is all about the legs, really allowing that big toe to give you information. So there's support in the knee and the hip, functional support. But then once you feel solid there, you can start to test it. Like imagine you're like this hurricane and your big toe is like, actually, this is getting to be kind of a weird image for a yoga class. But you can be a little wild, and you can test this anchor that you've laid for yourself. Like, how much can you reach over to the left without pulling up that toe? How much can you reach over to the right and back? And then start to reach over to the right. Let the let's release our hands inside the right foot and turn everything a little bit to the right so the left shin swivels out, the hips square, and you're setting up for that short lunge, right? The knee is mostly underneath the hip. And then push down into the feet to rise up. Give yourself permission to walk the right foot over so you have like a lot of space and support. And then reach up with the left hand and over. So opening that whole left side of the body. The right hand can soften and slightly melt towards the left leg. And then reach up with both arms and reach over. And just take a few pulses. Is everything? You guys froze for a sec. Can you guys see and hear me? Was there... Okay, cool. I think it was getting a little glitchy. And so just take a couple more sways here, just allowing the left side of the body to open without forcing anything. And the next time you come up, reach up with both arms and then release them down inside the right foot. Bring the right knee back and then left hip starts to drop, right hand reaches up. So you roll over the hips and then scooch back onto your mat and slowly recline. Yes, Amisha's got it. Great time to have a sip of water. Round 1 is done, which means we're moving on to the second song. So if you're following along, hit next. Maybe They Will Sing for Us Tomorrow is the name of the song. So you guys know how this works by now. We'll be repeating a lot of that, building on it. Some things will go a little faster, but if you love them, always feel free to linger longer and then just catch up when you're ready. So start by snow angeling the arms overhead and then bend elbows, interlace hands behind the head. Slowly drag the right heel in. We're just going to do this one time. So feel every moment of it. Feel the sole of the right foot plant and then control the descent of the right knee as it softly lowers to the right, like you'd set a sleeping baby down, right? Oh, that's good. You should move like that the whole class. Don't wake the baby. And then lift the right knee, left elbow to knee. Recline just the body. Let the right knee fall across the body and notice the massage on the left side as you slowly roll onto the belly. Let the right knee slide out of the way. If there's any sensations in the right hip that are uncomfortable, feel free to bring the foot closer to the leg like a tree pose, or just extend the leg. This round, let's walk the hands back and traction the hands backward to lengthen the spine for Bhujangasana with our leg in tree pose. You might not come up as high. You definitely don't want any pressure in the low back here, and just take a couple of pulses. And then just like before, lower the elbows for Sphinx pose. Push down into the elbows to anchor into the core, and then push down into the hands coming up to plank. Slide the right knee underneath you. Walk the hands onto the mat. Options. So it's our third round really of lizard. You can keep crawling, or if you feel ready, you can lift the right knee and do the same thing, but with the knees lifted. If that's too much, keep the knees down and keep playing with crawling. But remember, it's opposite hand and knee. So the right knee is going to slide forward as the left hand plants forward. And go both directions. And try to slow down your movements a little bit. I'm going to let you guys have some extra time here so you feel like you can really explore. Try to lower your hips a little bit so it's more like a plank than a down dog. And eventually this will become more of a twist. So if you notice the pelvis tipping to one side, that's fine. But I'm just keeping it simple for now so that it's easier to follow. So next time your right knee's in front, drop it down. Ideally somewhat towards the middle of the mat, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then pause for a moment and just start to circle the back heel like you did before. Check in with the wrists. If they're feeling sensitive, try bending the elbows a little bit and bringing more weight onto the pinky side and the base of the wrist at the pinky side, letting the hands sort of cup away from the mat like little suction cups. You can always make fists, but finding that softness and functional support on the outside of the arm I think is better. Okay, so bring your awareness to the left big toe and slowly start to walk the hands over to the left, setting up for modified Pargasana. Let the left big toe spin out. And this time we'll go right into the sweeping. So slowly drag the hands over to the left, reach to the left, and then up and as far over to the right. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Okay. Do we not have batteries? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys, the mic died. Can you hear me? Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay, sorry about that. So I'll have the good mic back in a second, but for now we'll use this snowball mic. So from Pargasana, walk the hands over to the left and let the right shin swivel out. So we're setting up for that short lunge again. Push down into the legs to slowly rise up, and then allow the right hand to reach up and the left arm to just melt. So you take that nice side bend and reach up, and just do a couple of those on your own, really gently. So you're not trying to muscle into the right hip flexors, you're just melting in and out. And just take a few pulses like that while I put on my foot. Lifts, reach the left arm up, and actually slowly start to lift the right knee. And if that ever feels like too much, it is okay to lower the hands as you do that. And so with the right knee lifted, shift the weight into the left foot and very slowly drag the right leg and foot forward and just step it underneath you. Tadasana, drop the arms and just pause. Let your feet give you information here, which means maybe you notice like, oh, I want to walk my feet a little wider. I want to allow them to turn out or whatever. And just turn off all the rules you might have ingrained in you, and just let your feet give you little adjustments so that the knees feel supported and the pelvis feels supported. Reach the hands down to the sides. I'm going to turn so you guys can see me better, but you can stay where you are, just for a little help balancing. And then shift your weight more into the left foot. And just like we did in Parigasana, feel the base of the big toe anchor down, and then the big toe itself, and then the heel. And push down into the foot and start to externally rotate the thighs so you feel the outside of the left hip waking up. And if you don't feel it, it's okay. But just start to imagine this connection between the arch of the foot, crossing the shin all the way up to the outer hip. And so from there, slowly start to lift the right knee. And then step the right foot back and turn all 10 toes towards me. And I'm not going to cue it constantly, but I'm going to just say, like, plant the seed that you're really going to want the big toe to be anchoring throughout this sequence to help you balance. Start to bend into the right knee, shift the weight into the right foot, and slide the left foot in and up. Take a breath. And then bend the right knee and go back the way you came through, a low squat. Turn the toes to the left, thinking about that lunge we were in a lot. Reach the arms up and over. Melt the left arm down. And we'll do that again. So slowly sweep the arms over to the right through our low squat. Send the sits bones back. Shift the weight into the right foot and slide the left foot across and up. Let the body lengthen and reach anchor through the right big toe this time. And then go back the way you came. Squat down, step the left foot across, slowly shift the weight over to the left, and then turn the feet over to the left, bend the right knee, and reach up and over for that same right side body opening position we did in the lunge. One last time, sweep the arms over to the right, drag the left leg in and up, and then reach the left leg across, shift the weight, turn the feet, bend the right knee, and just melt up and over to the left. This time, release the hands inside the left foot. You've got two options. Our transition from last week, root through the right arm and hop the left foot over the right and slowly lower down. And you guys all did that really awesome, so I'm not going to even give you the other option. So now just twist nicely into that left leg, and then just keep on twisting. So let the left hip open, let the right leg slide open, and then just keep on twisting and allow the body to reach over the right leg. And then push into the right heel, slowly rise up, and scooch onto your mat if you've wandered. Hold on to the left knee and recline. Extend left leg. Extend the arms. Just pause. Observe the breath, and we'll go through that same thing on the second side. Snow angel the arms. Bend the elbows. Fingertips behind the back of the head, and then drag the heel in, set the foot down, feel the skin of the left foot, and then slowly set the left knee over to the left, and then lift the left knee, crunch up towards it, twisting to the left. Release the body down, slowly lower the left knee over to the side. Roll over the right side of the body. Let the left knee slide over to the side, all the way onto the belly. And then reach the hands out, walk the hands back, and drag the hands back to peek the heart forward, opening slightly across the chest. Make sure the low back is okay here. And again, if it's not, bring the left foot in or just extend it totally down. You don't want any pain in the low back. Just take a couple of pulses. The next time you come up, slide the elbows forward, walk them forward underneath the shoulders, and then without moving them, push down into the forearms to start to hollow the body out, and then release, and then hollow the body out. Keep that support as you place the hands down and slide the left knee in. Second round of our advanced lizard prep. So option to lift the left knee if you want, and then we'll step the right foot forward and left hand forward. Let the hips lower. Nice. And then swap. So right hand, left knee, left hand, right knee. And they can be little at first, but as you get comfortable, maybe the steps get a little bit bigger. Just make sure there's no strain in the low back as you play with this. And the next time the left knee is in front, drop it down. Plant the hands underneath the shoulders and just take a few heel circles. Try bending the right knee a little bit. I feel like it's easy to lock out here. And just notice how when you bend the right knee, you might feel even more in the joints, in the right hip, in the ankle. And walk the hands over to the right. Let the toes turn out to the right. And bend into the right knee. Slowly drag the hands over to the right. Reach to the right, up, and then left. Let this be a test for the connection between anchoring the base of the big toe itself, and then turning on the outside of the right hip. Right? Imagine the right thigh bone rooting into the socket and really feeling supported here. The next time you reach up, turn the body to the right so you're in that short lunge. Tuck the back toes, hover the back knee, drop the right arm, and reach up with the left hand to just lengthen the space between the left hand all the way down to the left hip, to the left knee, maybe even the left ankle. And then straighten the right leg, reach up, and come into that melted position once again. And this is what we're going to be returning to when we add on the balance. So just allow your body to memorize this feeling for a moment, and then we'll add on. So slide the back leg forward. Step the left foot underneath. Remember, give yourself permission to adjust. It's almost like you don't want to feel anything in your knees and your hips, and that means you're actually in a supported position. There's none of that uncomfortable feedback. And now anchor the right big toe and externally rotate the right thigh so you feel the outer hip engaged to support you. Just take a couple of breaths and slowly lift the left knee. And then step the left foot back and turn the feet into your squat. And now shift the weight into the left foot. Drag the right foot over and up. And then bend the left knee, step the right foot across and turn to the right. Bend the left knee and melt back into that gentle lunge that we came from. And so now we're going to skip the Tadasana, and we're just going to go back and forth between that. So sweep the arms over to the left, shift the weight into the left, lengthen the sits bones back, and then slide the right foot in and up. And then bend the left knee, step the right foot out, sweep the arms over to the right, letting the whole body turn. Reach the left arm up to open across the front of the left body. And then one last one. Feel free to go at your own pace if you're getting the hang of it. Otherwise, you can follow what I'm doing. Just make sure the knees and the hips feel comfortable with your choices. And the next time you're in the side reach, reach up with both hands. Melt the hands down inside of the right foot. Push into the left hand. Hop the right foot over the left, and then slowly control the descent of your hips. Nice. And then twist to the right. And then let the right hip open and take the left leg with you so there's no strain. And just keep on twisting to the right. And then reach over the left leg for a moment. And then push into the left heel to slowly rise up. Scooch onto your mat. Hold behind the right thigh and recline. Extend the right leg. Just pause. And let all of that sink in. Just notice any sense of awareness or even energy flowing through the body. Notice any sensations in the feet, in the ankles, the knees, the hips. We're going to do that one more time, and there's not going to be a lot of new stuff, but there will be a couple options for some fun poses sprinkled in. Snow. Oh, I almost forgot. Last song. So feel free to skip to the next track. The final track is called Through Space. Snow angel, the arms overhead, bend elbows, tuck fingers behind the head. Drag the right heel in, plant the right foot, enjoy that moment. And then allow the hip to open off to the side. And then crunch up towards it, letting left elbow and right knee meet. Release the body down, drag the right knee, the right hip, the right side of the body over to the right, rolling onto the belly. Let the right knee keep sliding, keep the big toe tucked. Drag the hands back, just taking a couple of pulses in cobra. And then slide the elbows forward for more support in sphinx. Push down into the elbows to puff up through the back of the body. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee, slide the right knee underneath you, and then slowly come up onto the hands. You can go right into any of the rounds of lizard that we've done. Otherwise, I'm going to demo at an angle so you can see this better. So lift the knees so you're in like a bouncy down dog. And as the left knee slides forward and the right hand slides out, it is okay to lower the right hip any amount so that you get a little bit more. It's really hard to find a good angle for this one. So you get like a little more rotation through the upper body. If that's too much for the hips, feel free to do it the way we did before, where it's a little more like facing the mat. But give yourself permission to gently rotate towards the bent knee. Yeah, beautiful, Jeanette. You got it, Octavia. And then shift the weight. And so whatever leg is forward, the opposite hip drops slightly towards the mat. And this is really hard. So if your brain is on fire and you can't figure it out, be patient. We'll come back to it one more time, and then you'll just have to do this yoga class again so you get it. The next time the left knee is in front, drop it down. Walk the hands over to the right. Spin the right toes out. And then drag the hands over to the right. Big circle, Parigasana, just starting to challenge that sense of anchoring through the foot. So maybe your motions get bigger, maybe you change directions or allow things to be a little erratic. Just make sure you're feeling whatever you're doing. That's the important part. And then sweep the hands over to the right and take the left hip with you. So the left shin spins out and everything points over to the right, setting up for that lunge. Lift the back knee, sweep the arms up, drop the right hand, and just melt over to the right. And then sweep the arms over to the left, turn all 10 toes, shift the weight into the left foot, anchor the left toe, and power down into that left foot to lift the knee gently, twisting towards it. And then bend into the left knee, slide it over, deep squat here, and then nice. And then turn to the right, back into that side body opening lunge. Sweep the hands over to the left. We're going to add on now. Low squat in the left knee. Slide the right leg over and up. And this time, step the right foot in front of you. Start to bend the right knee for Krishna pose. And you'll know the distance that you want the front foot, because as the right knee bends, it should feel like you can really open through the left side of the body. So feel free to play with where that right knee is for a moment. Both toes turn out to the sides. Then shift the weight back into the left foot. Lift the right knee, twisting towards it. Bend into the left knee, bounce a couple times. And then slowly squat through center. Turn the toes over to the right. Lift the right left heel, bend the left knee, and gently melt over to the right. And just keep giving yourself permission to reach that right arm back towards the left thigh, towards the left knee. Just make sure you're not crunching in the low back as you do that. And now slowly start to tip forward. Reach the left hand forward and down, and let the left foot fly for Virabhadrasana 3. And then bend the right knee. Set the left toes down. Sweep arms over to the left. Let's do it again. Shift the weight into the left foot. Anchor left big toe. Lift the right knee. Twist towards it. And then step the right foot in front. It's okay if it's off the mat. Right toes turn out. Gently bend into the knee to open through the left side of the body. And then shift the weight back. Drag the right knee in and up. Squat in the left knee and step over. Last one, sweep everything over to the right. Left arm up, right arm down, melt over to the right. And then shift forward, power into the right foot, anchor into the left toe, let the left hand drop, Vira 3. And now let's challenge it a little bit. So keep the base of the left toe and the left toe itself anchored. And now, just like we did in Parigasana, start to reach the arms, the legs. You could come up into tree. You could open into Urdhva Chandrasana. Just give yourself a little bit of permission to explore and challenge your balance. And I'm going to watch you. And you're all so beautiful, and you're doing your own thing. And it's okay if you fall. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. In fact, it means you're really challenging yourself. Nice. And when you've had enough exploration, but I don't want you to rush, everyone's like, well, what are we going to do next? We will release the back foot down and the hands down and drop the back knee, and just take a moment to let the hips soften towards the mat. And then lift the back knee, power into the left hand, hop the right leg over, and slowly control the descent of the hips. Nice, Octavia. Could tell you were feeling yourself do that one. And then twist into the right leg. And then let the right knee open. Just twist over to the right. You can stay upright, or if you're feeling it, you can bend the left knee and just keep on twisting and melting over to the left. And then come up. Scoot onto your mat. Hold on to the leg and slowly recline. Uh-oh, we did something wrong because our head is supposed to be the other way. So don't worry. We'll make sure it's balanced out. But we do just have to swivel around. So the head is the opposite direction. And I'll just make sure we do it on the second side, even if it's not perfect. All right, last round. So have fun. You know everything that's about to happen. So skip the stuff you don't like. Do extra of the stuff you love. Maybe you're inspired to do something totally different, just let your body be the guide as long as it's safe and as long as it feels good. Snow angel, the arms overhead, bend the elbows, fingertips behind the head, drag the left heel in, plant the sole of the left foot. Left knee opens, and then cross body crunch. Release the body down, let the left knee melt over, and slowly roll onto the belly. Adjust the left leg if you need to, and then just take a few low cobras, just letting the muscles in the back and shoulders wake up because we've just done so much in the legs. We want to give some love to the rest of our body. The next time you come up, slide the elbows forward for Sphinx and then push into the forearms, hollowing out the body. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, slide the left knee underneath, and then push down into the left knee to come onto the hands. Scooch over onto the mat. And now we've got our last round of lizard crawls. So lift the left knee, and then however you want to do it, step the right foot forward, left hand forward, and either keep the hips nice and high or let that left hip drop a little so you twist more into the right knee. And then swivel the other way and just pay attention to the low back. Make sure nothing's feeling crunchy in the low back. And let the big toes really propel you forward and trust that the more you use them, the more support you'll have on the hips and the legs. And then maybe we were in the right way because now I'm getting confused. So bring the knees together, walk over to me into table, and then step the left foot out into the side. So this never happens. I don't know how I got thrown off here, but don't worry, we're definitely doing the second side right now. I know that much. So push down into the legs and the big toes so you feel really strong, and then sweep the arms over to the left and up. And now you've got your room to explore. And challenge it, right? Reach, and it's okay to fall, but just notice this sense of how anchoring through the big toe actually provides support in the knee, in the hip. And then turn to the left. Walk the left foot a little wider, step the right foot onto the mat, lift the right knee, and then reach the arms up and melt over, up and over to the left. And then extend both legs and reach up. And then melt both knees, melt over to the left. And this time, reach arms forward, over to the right, turn all 10 toes, and then start to bend into the right knee, slide the left leg across and up, and twist to the left. And then step the left foot forward, left toes turn out. It's okay to let the right toes turn out as much as is comfortable. And then reach the arms up, bend into the left knee, and just allow the right side of the body to open. If there's any discomfort in the low back, slide the leg in a little bit to provide more support in the back. And then shift the weight into the right foot, lift the left knee once again, and then bend the right knee and slowly step across, sweep everything across, coming back into our nice gentle melting lunge. And then we'll do that again, and we'll add on our Virabhadrasana 3. Sweep the arms across, shift the weight to the right, drag the right leg in and up, twist towards it, and then step the left leg forward, bend both knees, and allow the right side of the body to open. Shift the weight back into the right foot once again, lift the left knee and twist, and then bend the right knee, release over, sweep across, hug inner thighs together, bend the right knee and melt the right side of the body. And this time, start to shift forward, reach the right arm down, and hinge forward, Virabhadrasana 3. And then drop the right toes down, sweep the arms to the right. Last round, shift the weight into the right thigh, and just feel any sense of control and stability in the legs as you start to explore these different movements. Beautiful, Jeanette. Lift the left knee, bend the right knee, sweep across. Nice. Let the right side of the body open just like you did in Krishna pose. And then shift the weight into the right leg. Anchor the right big toe, reach down. And then from Virabhadrasana 3, allow yourself to explore. Reach the arms out, reach one arm up. Allow the right leg to start to circle around. And as the right leg circles, notice that it actually becomes more challenging to keep the base of the big toe down, right? It's like you really have to use a lot of muscles in your foot to keep that balance. When your foot gets stronger, your ankle gets stronger, your balance gets stronger. Take your time, but when you're ready, step the right foot back, release the hands down, drop the right knee, and then you can do anything with the hips that feels good. I'm just doing some really slow hula hoops. And then extend the right leg, press into the right hand, hop the left foot over, twist to the left. Let the left knee open. Keep twisting, but adjust the right leg however you need to for this to be comfortable. And then stay upright if you're loving the twist, or option to soften the right knee, reach the left arm up, and just melt over to the right as long as that feels useful. And then kick into the right heel, slowly rise up and turn to face me. Extend both legs this time. We're balanced on both sides, so now we can just do whatever we want. Which means if there's any poses that you're dying to do, just ignore me and do whatever you want. Otherwise, I'll guide you through some fun cooling down movements. And so start in Upavishta Konasana by just bending the knees a little bit and letting the pelvis start to tip forward and back. Can support yourself with the hands. And try to release any sense of like wanting to go deeper, and instead just think of this as like a massage, right? Like, oh, I'm just exploring my hip sockets. I'm exploring the rotation of my pelvis around my thigh bones. And then walk the hands over to the left and do the same thing to the left, right? Where you're just melting over the left leg and then coming back up. And next time you come up, start to circle the left heel a little bit. And notice as you circle the heel, I don't know if you can see my foot because of Konalani. As you circle the foot, notice any sense of the rest of the leg following, right? The rest of the leg follows, and then the rest of the body follows. And so really, let this just be about the heel rotating. And then let everything else just follow. Without thinking about it, just letting it happen. And then go over to the right side and do the same thing on the right. First, just exploring the pelvis tipping and coming up. And then letting the right heel start to circle. And it can be really small. It can be really small circles. Just notice any sense of massaging through the heel, through the ankle, through the hip socket. And then optional, this one's intense, so it really is optional. But if you want to explore through the center, it can be quite fun to rotate both heels symmetrically, right? So it's like the toes come in, forward, and out, just like you did one leg at a time. And notice if there's a sense of the body wanting to release forward as the rotation of the thighs changes. And don't force anything, but maybe there's just this allowing, this melting of the hips, of the low back. And when you've had enough of that, you can find stillness or just come out of it and eventually support the backs of the knees and just guide them, like so lovingly back to center, and just hug the thighs together, right? Just letting everything seal back in. Extend the legs, place the fingertips behind you, set the elbows down, and we'll take a fish pose here. So just gently traction, pull the elbows back to peak the heart up without actually moving the arms. Just drag the hands and the elbows back, letting the front of the chest open. You can make some little circles with the spine, as if your spine was a jump rope. It arches and then arcs the other way. If you're doing that, just make sure to go in both directions, and feel free to set the elbows a little wider. That helps you get a little more exploration through the spine and the shoulders. And then just gently prop yourself up. If you are still listening to music, take a moment to pause it. And we have just a few minutes to meditate before Shavasana. And so take your time finding a comfortable seat. We've done a lot of work in the legs and the hips. And so just notice if your seat responds well to that. Notice if it feels really natural and comfortable to sit cross-legged. And then just like we began, just observe your breath. And you've spent the past hour and 15 minutes observing your body, feeling and playing. Notice if that work has made it easier to now observe this subtler entity. Notice if it feels natural for your gaze to be pointed within. As you continue to observe your breath, just notice this quality of looking in instead of out. We spend most of our day looking out, engaging the world and being often disconnected from our source. This practice gives us the opportunity to connect inside and really be in tune with how we're feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, and even energetically. So just imagine all of your focus, all of your energy just pouring down inside of you. as you continue to observe the breath and let your energy sink and soak in, just gently repeat the mantra Om Namah Shivaya with each inhale and each exhale. And this is our reminder of our true selves, supreme consciousness. So each time you repeat Om Namah Shivaya, imagine you're connecting more and more deeply to your highest form, the most supreme consciousness which exists in all of our hearts at all times. We're just looking out instead of in most of the time. And just continue to breathe and repeat the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. And each time your mind wants to pull you out into what's next, what's for dinner, I have to remember this and plan that, you just start to observe the breath again and repeat the mantra and know that just that simple act helps draw focus in. And the whole world's going to be there as soon as class is over. This is your time to just keep resonating with this highest form and let everything else go. Om Namah Shivaya. You're welcome to stay upright, continuing to observe the breath and repeat the mantra for as long as you'd like. You're also invited to rest in Shavasana and continue to harmonize with the state you're creating and connecting to in a more restful, relaxing way. Just choose what feels the most nourishing for you and enjoy it. For the last minute or so, I'll be playing an Om Namah Shivaya chant. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana and just soak in the vibrations. You're also welcome to sing along, whatever feels right to you. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 And if you're still in Shavasana, you can make your way to seated, and we'll all meet with hands at the heart. And just notice any sense of having an inward gaze, a connection not just to the information that your feet send you, though that's important, but also the information of the heart and your intuition as you prepare to open the eyes and re-engage with the outer world. You have a wonderful opportunity to dance with having your focus inside and still engage in the magic of the world. So good luck, dance in that dance. I hope to see you guys really soon. Namaste. Good to see you all. Thank you for coming. I hope your bodies feel great. Have a great week. See you tomorrow, Jeanette. See you tomorrow, Jamie. See you every moment of every day, Christy and Padma. Thanks for coming, Marina. What a special treat to see you. Thank you for coming, Yukie-san. Hi, Tammy.
It felt so good. Thank you.
I'm so
Be blessed.
glad. You too. Aloha. Take care. Hi, Yukie. Thank you for coming. I'm so happy.
I'm happy to having your class. Thank you.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
And Minoru?
Minoru, yes. Minoru is there.
Tell him we say hi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh.
I'd like to take your lesson next week.
Well, I hope so.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good luck. Bye.
Bye.